The 2020 Rio Tinto annual report disclosed that the company had over $10 billion in cash and cash equivalents, borrowings of over $13 billion, and net current assets of over $9 billion. It is the role of the Rio Tinto corporate treasury function to manage the company's liquidity and funding requirements. To do this, the treasury team relies on the board of directors and the treasury policy for guidance and direction. The financial risk management policy, also known as the treasury policy, is the key management control that assists in the management of financial risks. The policy defines the framework on how the financial risks will be managed, delegations and authorities, authorized financial instruments, reports to be submitted to the board, and the frequency of review of processes and controls. Since the treasury policy communicates the risk attitudes of the directors, it is important for it to clearly outline the board's risk appetite. The risk appetite defines the amount of risk that the board is willing to take in pursuit of the organization's goals and objectives. These measures are both quantitative and qualitative. The risk appetite statement also sets the risk tolerance thresholds. As an example, a bank may approve the use of floating rate borrowings from authorized lenders as a source of funding, but may require that a 50% hedge be taken out on all such floating exposures. The treasury policy also defines the roles and responsibilities of the treasury team, which may include managing and monitoring cash balances and cash flows, assessing funding needs and sourcing for funds, managing the organization's debt levels and ensuring that funding risk is adequately managed, investing of excess funds, putting in place hedging arrangements, managing counterparty risk, managing debt compliance, and providing timely reports to the board and management. The treasury policy also defines the delegations of authority relating to the company's financial transactions. This may include the approval limits set for various roles and positions. Let's look at an example. The board of XYZ Limited has stipulated in its treasury policy that the company's chief financial officer can approve new debt facilities of up to $10 million. The chief executive officer of the company has, however, been delegated a higher approval limit of $15 million. This means that the new debt facilities that exceed $10 million must be approved by the CEO. Any amounts above $15 million will require the board's approval. As stated earlier, the treasury policy also specifies the financial instruments that the organization can utilize for investment or funding purposes. As an example, the board may stipulate that excess funds can only be invested in short-term deposits from financial institutions with a credit rating of BBB. Finally, the treasury policy also defines the organization's reporting requirements, which may include providing reports on cash flow levels, compliance with debt covenant ratios, investments held, and any noted red flags relating to financial risks. To recap, the treasury policy is an important document that defines the board's risk appetite, the delegated authorities, and the controls in place to manage financial risks. The policy also defines the reporting requirements set by the board to assist them in monitoring how financial risks are being managed.